Welcome to Substation 33, where we'll teach you to take this and turn it into a 3D printer. Let's get started.
So now we're going to drill a hole for the wiring. So we're going to put the power supply on this side of the printer and run the wire, that plug through here onto the ramps. So we're going to cut a hole in here. There's not really much room to run the wire here. So I've grabbed a ruler and we're just going to measure approximately in the middle of this perspex. So it's 170 mils. So I'm just going to put a little dot halfway. So the height's not really that critical. So just approximately in the middle there. So it looks sort of even. And I'm just going to drill a pilot hole, just with a 3mm hole. And then I'm going to use a hole saw to cut a hole in here so the connector fits through. So first of all, 3mm drill bit. Just drill a pilot hole. Just slowly. Be careful when you get to the end. And then switch to a hole saw. Now I've grabbed a 28mm. So what you want to make sure is it can fit, the connector that's going to plug in here can fit through the hole. So you want to be able to take the power supply off if you need to replace it. So pilot hole, 28mm bit, really low RPM, and we're also going to water cool it. That's what the water's here for. So we're going to dip the bit in, keep it cool, because when you're cutting this plastic, you got to cut really slowly and water cool or put some oil on there or something to cool the bit down, because it tends to melt and stick to the bit and ruin everything. So we're just going to cut really slowly. So you probably want to cut every couple of seconds. Oh, sorry, cool the bit every couple of seconds. Get rid of the swap as well. And what we're going to do before we get to the end, we're going to cut a little bit from the other side, so it leaves the burr inside the hole. So what I might do now is cut from the other side. So I'll just swing that around a bit. Just going to move that forward a bit. All done. So actually, before we stop, just to mention that it's actually a wood. This is designed for cutting wood. This bit. So you can use, can't really use the diamond ones or the ones for stone, but this is really what you need to use, just a wood one. We're going to mount the power supply onto the board. So we've got our power supply all wired up, and we're just going to whack it on this side. Hopefully you can still see it. So we're gonna wire it so we get as much length as we can from this wire, and so we're just gonna plonk it into our pre-installed corners. Now we can actually probably swivel it around. So sometimes the power supply's got a fan on the top or on the bottom. So we usually keep the fan underneath the power supply because you don't want screws and stuff falling in and causing the power supply to short out. So in this case we can have it either way, although this is getting in the way of the corners, so we'll actually swap it around. So I'll plonk it in this way, and then we'll feed our wires through. And then we can just plug it into the ramps. And that's it. We'll clean up the cabling later, so we'll put cable ties on and clean everything up, but that'll do just for the moment. And the next step will be to actually wire the Z motor in and the Endstop, and then we'll start programming up the ramps.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.